Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the PHDJ podcast. My name is Mike.
What's up? It's Joe.
How you doing, Joe?
Good morning, sir.
So I should start out by apologizing to our loyal listeners. Apparently last week I did not do a good job of regulating the volume, and I was way louder than you were, so I apologize. I usually take a little bit more time. It's funny. We record this. Joe sends me the audio files, and then I usually take a little time. And you and I just project differently. I have that shot out of a cannon, East Coast, like, I got to get my point across thing, and you're just a little bit cooler and laid back, so that's why I have to, kind of balance off the volume. So my apologies if I blew anybody's eardrums out last week.
That one guy said he was listening to it on a road trip, and he almost got carpal tunnel from turning it up, turning it down, turning it up.
So I will do a better job this week of balancing. And Joe, you said you also found a program that might actually do it.
Yeah, I think we can clean it up a little bit more. We're always working for you guys. Come on.
It's funny. You texted me yesterday, and I said, Joe, you got to project more. And I was waiting for you to text back like, why don't you calm the F down? Why don't you slow down? Maybe you only have 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
There you go. There you go.
So Joe, we are 10 days away as we record this from getting together in Vegas. I'm excited.
Man, I'm actually excited too, Mike. I love Mobile Beat, to be honest with you, man. Even last year, I wasn't speaking, which kind of takes a lot of the stress out of it, knowing that you don't really have to do something or be somewhere at a certain time. And it was just fun, man. You get to see all of your DJ buddies, and you and I get to connect with people that sometimes we only know virtually, through Facebook or Instagram. And I don't know. I just like it. You get to tell them, you get to, actually say, oh, I saw you went on a trip, or, I admire your work. And they get to tell us how much they love the podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. And you get in what time on Sunday?
It's fairly early, like after lunch. I mean, late afternoon, probably 3 or 4.
I'm getting in super early. I cheaped out. I saved a ton of money by taking the first flight out Sunday morning.
Okay.
I think I saved like almost $200, but I literally have to be at the airport at like 5 a.m.
You have a gig Saturday?
No, I don't, fortunately.
Nice.
So Kelly and I will have a nice date night and make it early and everything else. But yeah, so but the good news, I'm out there super early Sunday. Yeah. Hopefully I can even get it in. If not, I'll go for a run and maybe get a swim in.
Sure.
But then you're going to see 311 Sunday night.
I want to, but I don't.
Oh, you don't have tickets? Oh.
I'm getting a ticket if I have to go by myself. They're very expensive.
Could it be that? Really? No. It's that a ticket?
No. It's $300 to be where I want to be. I'm sure that
you be right.
I need to see like the sweat. Like I gotta see that.
And this is probably not a topic for the air, but you don't get high?
No.
Ever.
No, that's like a weed band, isn't it? Yeah.
You will probably be the only person at that show not high. You realize that?
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah. The band, the crew, the audience, everybody will be high.
This is like
and especially in Vegas because it's legal there.
Right. And it's like a thing, this is 311 day. So they've carried it to 2 days, 311 and 312.
That's right. That Sunday is 311.
Or no, it's 312. 311, I think, is Saturday.
Right.
But so they're carrying it over for 2 days. And I think that's why the tickets are expensive, because the ticket is supposed to get you admission for both days.
Oh, okay.
So they'll play 2 different sets. They have so many records, like they'll just play 2 sets. But I've never been to 311-day period. They move it around every year. It's been in New Orleans and whatever. And normally it's during Mobile Beat. Just happens to be. But yes, cool. I love 311, and I'm definitely going. But the other thing I was going to mention was and I think the NCAA tournament should be going on while we're out there, correct?
Yeah, that's usually, now that they've moved it to March, I think that's usually the same week, which I don't usually get into, but it's a fun thing. You can
heartbreaker last night. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I don't follow.
Oh God. Oh, I'm doing your boy Switzer's wedding the day before I come out there. The boy that plays for the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. He's getting married?
Yeah, he's getting married. The kid that he ran back a punt this year.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe it was kickoff. He played for Carolina, so he's getting married to his cheerleader girlfriend on March 10th.
That's cliche, isn't it?
A little, but
an athlete marrying a cheerleader.
That's
the first time that's happened. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right.
So I said you yesterday about this. I wanted you to be a little prepared, and I'll give you a little preview of why this is a topic. I wanted to talk to Joe. This is a suggestion from Aaron Abramson, who's a loyal listener and also a PHDJ grad.
Man, that guy's smart.
And he said, talk about your exit strategy. Talk about your, what is your plan for getting out of the business? Are you going to sell your business, or is someone going to inherit it? Are you just going to DJ till you die? I know that's kind of dark, but and so we've had this topic kind of on our list of things to talk about potentially. And then last week, do you ever watch House Hunters International?
I have watched that show, yeah.
Kelly loves that show.
What's it on, HGTV?
Yeah, it's HGTV. We TiVo it all the time. And every once in a while, like on a Saturday, we'll just binge watch a bunch of episodes. And it's fun. It's a half hour. These couples are moving somewhere, so they work with a realtor. Yeah. They usually see 3 different places, and then they have to choose. So, Kelly and I will turn it into a competition because they usually go to commercial break at the end.
Before that, yeah.
Are they going to pick 1? Are they going to pick 3? Are they, you know what I mean? But this one issue, this one episode was this couple. They were looking for a place in Portugal, and they introduced the guy as a retired travel writer. And I was like, that's a cool gig. Yeah. And I actually started, I didn't even watch the show. I looked the guy up, and I found his blog, and I found his Twitter account, and I started reading some of his posts. Yeah. And I'm like, so now I've just had it in my head. And I think this guy is 58 or 59, so he's not even that much older than I am.
Right.
I'm like, I could retire and be a travel writer. That's a cool gig. So it's kind of been top of mind. And then this week, when I was like, I need a topic for this week, I was scrolling through and I was like, oh, Aaron asked us something very similar. Yeah. So let's throw the ball into your court. Mm-hmm. You're younger than I am, so maybe you haven't even discussed it yet. What kind of exit strategy have you even thought about?
I love the way when you sent the text. You sent the text yesterday, and it said, let's get deep, and then it goes. Hold on. It actually says, okay, let's get deep tomorrow. What is your exit strategy? Quit / die / inherit / sell.
Well, that was me copying and pasting Aaron. That's how Aaron wrote it to us.
Crying.
How does Joe Bunn? How and when does Joe Bunn move on?
Well, let me just give backstory for a couple of things that are important before I answer. So, I guess if you don't know, so we have 3 other offices besides Raleigh. So over the last, 5 years now, 3 guys that have worked for me at some point in the history of Bunn DJ Company came to me with the stipulation of, Joe, I hate my job. I want to do what you do for a living. And then I said, not here. And then they picked different markets. So the first one was David down in Charleston, South Carolina. Again, they're much younger than myself or Mike. They're probably 30, around 30. None of them were married at the time. None of them had kids. So they could go wherever they want. Then Brandon, that was working for me here in this office, he went to the western part of our state, which we rarely ever went to. And then Frank, who had not worked for me in 10 years probably, Mike, and was living in Richmond doing construction, took basically Richmond and the Charlottesville kind of area. Well, fast forward to recent history, maybe 2 years ago, things got super heated in talks with a major booking agency that has 8 or 9 offices throughout the Southeast about, I thought that they were trying to acquire me, but I think that they were trying to merge. So it went back and forth. I was very forthcoming with my numbers, but at the time, you also have to realize that these other offices were still so new that became kind of the the kink in the chain, you know what I mean, is that they were going, okay, well, what are we going to do if these other guys don't want to sell? Because
you didn't have established track records in those markets yet.
Didn't have established track records, and at the end of the day, those guys had bought those markets. So now they're not only dealing with trying to buy me out, but trying to buy out 3 other guys that really didn't have the numbers to warrant getting bought out. So it kind of fell apart, and I think I was okay with that. I don't think that I think they thought that they were maybe bigger than they were. You know what I mean? Like, the number for me Let me rephrase that into a question. Would if I wrote you a check today for $1 million, would you walk away from Elite Entertainment? $1 million.
Yes.
Wow. I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that might come with a stipulation, and this is something. It was funny because this episode of House Hunters kind of inspired Kelly and I to talk about it. And I said, I could picture a future where I no longer own Elite. Hopefully, Dominic and I have discussed esoterically him buying it out someday. There's been no number, but why not still DJ? I could still do 20 gigs a year that enable me to do a lot of traveling. Because Kelly and I both love traveling. And without children, we're a little bit freer to roam. Yeah. And I picture, saying to the owner of Elite, whether it's Dominic or you, if you want to cut me that $1 million when I see you in 10 days, saying, like, here are the months I'll be here, book me. And here are the months I'll be away. Don't book me. I can picture that. So, so we've kind of talked about that scenario. And obviously Kelly's career being a home caregiver doesn't lend itself to that kind of sporadic schedule, but mine does. So something we have talked about.
Well, so anyway, I skated around your question.
By the way, you started high because you probably could have gotten me a little bit lower than So you threw up too big a number out. Yes, $1 million I would sell.
See, I wouldn't. I think mine is 2. And I don't know if that's because I just live so well above my means or because I have 2 kids that I still need to send to school or what it is. I don't know what it is, but that would be my number. So I guess my point is, or let me ask another question, Mike, because I think this answer, I don't know that I have a direct answer for it, but I may get to one by the end of the 30 minutes. Do you have how old are you again, if you don't mind?
So I told you before, I turn the same age as the Super Bowl every year.
Really?
So my age is really, that's why I write my age in Roman numerals. Yeah, I usually make that joke. This is the only gap of time where for these 2 months, I'm younger than the Super Bowl.
Right.
But I turned 52 in
right, I was about to say.
So, for most of the year, I'm the same age as the Super Bowl. So we just both 52. I'm going to be 52.
All right, yes. And I'm 46. Do you have have you ever put a finite cutoff? I'm not going to DJ anymore after this age date.
I have, but I keep moving that line back. I actually, at some point, that line was 50.
That's what my number was.
In my early 40s, it was, by 50, I'm out of this. And then as I approached 50, I didn't have anybody lined up to buy Elite, and I didn't have a next.
No. But I'm just saying, moving, like, you could still run Elite and sit on the beach every weekend.
That's true. Yes.
To
be honest with you, between the choice of running Elite and DJing, running Elite's not the thing I love doing. I love DJing. I love entertaining. I love rocking parties. And don't get me wrong, I also love being a business owner. It's a very rewarding thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's not, I don't know if, I think once I give up DJing, I'm going to want to give up the entire business. And like I said, I can also picture a future where I no longer own the company, but can still, potentially make $30,000, $40,000 a year DJing at a number of events and not having to really worry about the ownership.
Yeah. I don't think I ever thought about that second scenario where I don't own it, but I still DJ for the new owner. And I think my number was to stop DJing was 50, and then I could just run the company for as long as I wanted to.
Right.
And I've also got sons. One of the two I think may have some interest. I think it's more money driven than it is music driven.
So when Aaron writes inherit, that would be kind of your,
I could see that. I could see one of those two. I mean, again, we're dealing with a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old, but with how fast that went by, you're talking about 8 or 10 years, either one of them would be more than qualified to work here. You know what I mean? It's just a different era now. It's a different. I remember when I was coming up. I mean, that my parents, if I had said I didn't want to go to college, or if I had not, made the grades I did and gotten the SAT score that I did, they would have been floored. And listen, don't get me wrong.
upset with you.
Upset, like, I mean, like it would have ruined their entire adult.
If you're saying you don't have that same criteria for your boys, like if your boys said to you, Dad, I don't see college in my future, are you going to be upset by that?
I don't think so, man.
Dad, a career in mind that doesn't need a college degree. Because to me, that's one of the big things. If you get through high school and you have a career in mind that doesn't necessarily require a college degree, why go to college?
I'm okay with it, man. Honestly, especially with the available occupations in computers.
I think it was Bill Cosby who made the joke, and I hate to quote Bill Cosby in today's day and age, but if I remember, I think it was Bill Cosby who said he graduated college and couldn't get a job because all the dropouts had the jobs. And I think and obviously there are careers where you need a higher education, so that's not the case. Yeah. But that happens sometimes. And let's face it, nobody even goes to college nowadays for 4 years. Most go for 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah. So by your mid-20s, you finally have that college degree, but then you maybe go into a career where it's superfluous.
Right. I mean, that's a great word.
Spell it.
I think it's super, SUPER, FLUOUS.
Yeah, it's that crazy you, which is weird. Yeah, I think you got it right. Somebody Google that while we're listening. I didn't look it up, and I'm pretty sure you got it right.
Anyway, it's just different now. You know what I mean? I could see either one of them being like, hey, I want to, I mean, Davis could say, I want to be the manager of a pro sports team, and Colin could say, I'm going to design video games, and neither one of those would require them to go to school, to college. Right. I don't know. It's just a different world than I think when my parents were bringing me up. I mean, I've told this story before, and you're right about, 4 years isn't enough anymore. Like, everybody's got a 4-year degree. It's like you got to have an MBA or you got to go to law school.
Well, I don't even mean it that way. Most of the people I know who go to college...
Oh, just drag it out?
Start out, maybe take a semester off, change majors at some point.
Go to another country.
I don't know a lot of people who get through by the time they're 22. Most people I know who go to college graduate at some point 25, 26 years old. And it's not with an MBA or a PhD. It's with their 4-year degree. But it just took them a little while,
Mike, where'd you go to school? Did you go where Stern went?
I went to, no. Stern went pretty good. He went to Boston.
Okay.
I went to Queens. No, I went where Jerry Seinfeld went.
Oh, right. Okay. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did not graduate. I was one of those, I got 2 years in, not even 2 years in, because I had to go back to school later just to get my, the associates, the 2-year?
Yeah.
So I didn't even get my 2-year from Queens College. I graduated high school and I was clueless. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I wasted a couple years in college, but then I realized this is not for me.
But you were doing radio back then?
No, I hadn't really. I finally dropped out. That's when I went to broadcasting school, and that's when I got hooked up with Star.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, I got off the topic a little bit.
So let's talk about last gig. If you knew, let's say you were going to finish up your DJing career, so you put a stop on your bookings, and obviously you're going to honor all your agreements.
Sure.
Can you picture that last gig that you'll eventually do? Would you say anything to that couple and let them know, hey, this is my last gig? And would you do anything special, to honor it yourself or your career or anything else? Can you imagine that last gig ever? Last event? Sorry, I know some people hate the word gig.
Man, yeah, I mean, there's a funny story, and I actually looked for it this morning when I knew this was our topic. Somebody from 1994 unearthed a T-shirt recently that I had, and it had my name on the pocket. It said DJ Joe Bunn on the back. It had this Marky Mark logo that I'd stolen and made into myself, and it said DJ Joe Bunn Final Year Tour 1994. And then I think I either sold them or gave them out at frat parties when I graduated Carolina, because I thought that was the end. Like, I thought...
Were you saying people who bought that can now get their money back? Is that proof?
Yeah, exactly.
Your final tour?
Just like the Eagles and all the other bands.
Save the receipt from back then.
Exactly. I will refund those.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it, man. And it was literally like, it was almost like threadbare. But I remember thinking, okay, that was a good ride from 83, when I was 12 or 13 to 94. I did it through all of middle school, high school, and college. And then now I got to get a real job. And I really thought that was the end of it. And I don't remember like what the last gig was or anything, but fast forward to present day, here 20-some years later, still doing it, still loving it. I feel like the last gig, Mike, wouldn't be two things. One, I don't really feel like it would be the last gig, because how many DJs in your market have said, I'm quitting, I'm getting out of the business, and then you see them.
Right.
It could be 2 years later, but they're doing something. It could be a charity run for Heart.
Well, no DJ ever sells their gear. So if you're sitting with gear in your basement, you're eventually going to have to, you know, someone's going to say, hey, you want to do this? And you go, yeah, you're right. I'll slip it out. So you're probably right. Unless you do, as Aaron implies, die, in which case then definitely gig.
But I also think if I was saying, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up and I'm just going to run Bunn DJ Company, I don't think I would let my last gig be someone else's party. I think I would almost like try and rent out like a cool, like there's a really cool movie theater right here by my office.
So you'd make it like a Joe Bunn retirement.
And like have some of my guys spin and I play like the last hour and then.
We could combine that with a PHDJ too, so that all of our grads are down there to rock that. But I see that.
I see it.
That's what we're going to hold on. I like it. I like it.
That's probably what I would do.
Yeah. And what about bucket list? I know we talk about this a little bit at the workshop. Do you and Ainsley, do you and your boys, do you have a bucket list? And if so, do you want to share an item or two?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some bucket list items. And again, you know, I think that it's a lot of these countries that I want to go to, Spain, Greece, Australia, all the places where you and I consistently or constantly try and talk people into flying us out to speak. All of those places I would love to go to. But, you know, even Hawaii, I mean, it's just such a commitment to even get there. You know, that's a day and a half just in travel. And then you feel like you really need to be gone for 10 days or so. And then it's just hard for me, even still with my kids at, 10 and 13, to leave for that length of time. So I've kind of pushed that back. So those are all on my bucket list, things like that. And then I know this seems kind of minor bucket list, but I've got to see like somebody I love, like a 311 or, a Coldplay or somebody at that Red Rocks place in Colorado. I've got to go there.
Just talking about that Red Rock place.
I gotta go there.
Her guy Michael Fronte, who she just loves so much,
I love
is playing there, and it's a date that we can't make. But she was like, I want to go see this, and I want to go see any show there. But wouldn't it be great to see somebody like him? And that's a place I definitely. You two did a big show there, right? Back in the days,
when they were kids.
They helped famous, yeah.
I think that Sunday Bloody Sunday is filmed there.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm not positive. Yeah. The video for that, I'm not positive though.
Right.
But I've got to get there. So those are the two, the things that are top of mind. How about you? What's?
Yeah, I mean, Kelly and I have gotten to a lot of the places that we want to get to. One of the prominent places on my bucket list is Egypt and the pyramids and the Sphinx and all that stuff. My biggest challenge with that is there is some terrorism in that area, and there's some unsafe. Although Ron Michaels, right? Speaking of Colorado,
I know Ron.
I'm from Colorado. Ron swears by the fact that it's safe to travel over there. He and his wife have done that trip, and they've done Israel, and they've done multiple trips. He's of the mindset, and I'm not sure if Ron listens, but if he does listen, hey Ron, what's up? Ron is of the mindset, forget about bucket lists. If there's something you want to do it now. Now, Ron's like myself. He doesn't have kids, so it's a little bit easier for him to just pick up and go. But yeah, Kelly and I have done a lot of the things. But so Egypt is definitely one. Mm-hmm. Australia is definitely one. Yeah. And again, be a much longer trip. We did 3 weeks this last year as a cross country. So we kind of proved that we can get away for 3 straight weeks and our world won't end. So knowing that now, that's definitely in our future where we could do like a Thailand, Australia, Hawaii. 3 weeks and just really go for that length of time. So those are, and then it's funny, you have a concert. I've got a few sports things that are on my bucket list. Yeah. As much as I'm not a horse racing fan, I'd love to see the Kentucky Derby someday. There's a day, Leo, right? Do you know Leo?
Oh yeah, the cop.
Yeah, retired. He did a day this past football season. I've always thought about doing because logistically it's possible. Saturday he saw a Notre Dame game, and then drove up to Green Bay and saw a Packer game on Sunday.
Yeah.
So did that, and that, to me, that's a pretty bitchin' back-to-back full. And obviously, it comes in the fall, which is a busy time of year for a DJ. And also, there's only X number of weekends where both teams are home. So it's not something that you can coordinate very easily. But I would love to do a day like that sometime.
Yeah,
you know,
man, for sure. For sure.
And also, baseball stadiums for me. I love going to see. I've got about half of the stadiums right now under my belt. And I'd love to do a few more trips where I can take in a few more of the baseball stadiums.
Yeah, I knew you were doing that. That's really cool, too, man. For sure, man.
Yeah.
This is good.
So,
this is good.
I think that's good. I hope it wasn't too dark. I hope we didn't talk depth too much.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that we got to the you know, neither one of us is at the point where we're burnt out or unhappy or not profitable. So it's tough for you and I to give a finite answer, you know, of what we're going to do.
Yeah, you know, I think that's why when you say it would take $2 million to buy me out, I don't think any actuary would rate your company at worth $2 million. That's your goal. Want to sell. So you're going to put your number at $2 million.
Something's gone nuts on the audio.
Oh,
sorry, Mike.
Okay.
It just went completely static, and I don't know if it was recording that or not.
Okay.
So back up to that last thing you were saying. I said,
you said you're not burnt out. We're not burnt out. And my point was that I think that's the reason why you put a valuation of $2 million to buy you out.
Right.
I don't think most accountants would, if they were asked to evaluate your company, would put a $2 million price. I'm not helping you, but when you don't want to sell, that's what happens. You shoot high.
That's right.
You say, look, I'm not looking to get out of this business. So if you really wanted to buy Bunn DJ company, this is what it would take.
That's correct.
And maybe the fact that I would sell for $1 million shows where I'm at, that might be about where my company's worth or maybe even undervalued. But yeah, at this point, somebody wanted to cut me $1 million check. I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm throwing it out to all.
I was about to say, now you know.
If you want to bring that check with you to Vegas, we can talk. You know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks,
as always,
Aaron, for the topic. I appreciate it. It was a good one.
Hey, if somebody brings that check to Mike, let's make him put it on red or black and just see how big his balls really are. Let me give you guys this number one more time from last week. A lot of you actually texted. So text the word PHDJ. It doesn't matter. It's not case sensitive to 919-364-6186. Again, 919-364-6186. Just text PHDJ and you will be added to our text list. I promise we won't spam you or anything. But
for example, when we put this podcast up tomorrow, will people get a text message about that? Are we going to do our notifications like that?
They will tomorrow. So I meant to do it last week, and then we were just still amassing the audience.
So that's something you have to do manually?
Manually, yeah. I just have to set it up. Yeah. So just let me know. Maybe text me right when you post it, and then that way I can blast a quick text and say, hey, guys, the new episode is up.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will we're going to, I guess, double record next week, Mike, and then
I think we're going to have to double up, and then also the week after that. So you and I will talk about that off air. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Peace.